once again, you can read this maple file to get all the necessary information here. So this lecture video only just shows certain things. Okay, so please don't forget to read everything and do whatever is suggested in there. Okay, the maple could calculate like this very fast. Just hit enter in any command line, you get the answers. One good thing about maple is for the calculation of these fraction forms, it gives you the results as a fraction form, and in mathematics that's much better than a decimal notation, right? Square root of 24, it gives you 2 square root of 6. Once again, whenever you hit enter in any command line, your cursor moves to the next command line like this, right? So if you have a very big part of text one, then you might lost that results, right? So you have to bring it up and check it like this. So it is recommended to put extra command line right after certain important calculation. So your cursor moves to the very next line, so you can see all this result, okay, within one window. Once again, for this kind of calculation, it gives you this solution result. Trigonometry, it gives you the right answer. This is actually the accurate answer compared to the decimal results, right? And once again, you don't need to place your cursor at the end of your command line. It could be any place or even next line. Okay, if it's in the same command group, hit enter, it will give you the results like this. Sometimes you get this sign, which means it's not calculable, and at this moment the reason is the results is divided by 0, right? Because tangent pi over 2 is undefined, right? Okay. So like that. Exponent of x is how we define this exponential function e to dx. So exponent of 1 is e to d1, which is e. Absolute value of x is also same, and even for that, because e is 2.7 something and pi is 3.14, so actually this value is negative. So to remove the absolute value notation, you need extra negative sign in front of it, so the result must be negative e plus pi. So it just calculates the whole thing. Even you can get the factorization form of it, which is very necessary for our course, okay? And very important tools. And if you put all these 3 different commands with semicolon in one line, still you can get the results like this or like this, okay? Even maple could give you the sequence results. The meaning of this is we want to write a sequence whose form looks like k squared, and k is from 1 to 100, and it's denoted by double decimal there. Okay, so how can you get the decimal notation? Even it's an approximation, sometimes you need it. All we need is evolve in front of that, right? Then it gives you the decimal notation. And a lot of times for fraction form, this is just approximation because it's just going this 8 forever, right? 8 like that. Then how this maple knows it's enough to cut it in there? Actually it doesn't. In the presetting in the maple, it shows only 10 digits of the number. That's it. So that's the reason why we have that. Okay, so one more time, that number can be written by that. So instead of writing this equation every time to calculate it, we just simply assign a new letter for that whole value, and after that all you need is just using that letter to calculate that value, or using that value. Maple is case sensitive, so small k is defined like that, but capital K never been defined, so maple just accept that is a capital K. The letter could be any set of letters, right? So 2 to the 5th we can assign as a Joe, right? So Joe is 32. Square root of Joe is 4 times square root of 2. W, if W is that, then eval W is like this, another 10-digit number. But for some reason, maybe you don't need that much accuracy. And how about this? So now you see the difference between just the W inside evolve and comma 4. So automatically Maple gives 10-digit results, but you can assign the length of the digits, the number of digits. So 4 means, yeah, we're gonna see only 4 digits. How about 45? Yeah, we're gonna see 45 digits of it. Okay. Another thing is, we could use evolve to see the decimal notation of any calculation, but if it's a number, then just change that integer, especially integer, to integer dot 0 or just the dot only. Then it understands we want decimal notation for the results, so it gives us that decimal notation for that. How about without using square root? So there is no apparent that is a round number. So 4 minus 1/3 is 11/3, but how can you change that onto decimal? Evolve for that, or change 4 to 4.0, then you're gonna get decimal notation. Okay, how about sequence result? These are just a regular result. And how about approximation of it, decimal notation, using evolve, that one? Then it gives you all this decimal notation for that. Please read this part. You could use percentage notation to refer the just previous last calculation results. So for example, after you calculate it, percentage symbol is assigned to this automatically, right? So evolve f will give us the approximation of this number as a digit, right? Decimal notation. So pi is pi, so evolve same percentage notation, now it's totally different, right? And plus 5 means just adding 5 in here, like that. Why we don't recommend this? Because inside the Maple, it doesn't follow orders, right? So in the middle of this calculation, you can go back and calculate certain other things, right? So like this, right? It says warning, but obvious because we put, right, this was sorry. So what is the last calculate result? It should be 4 square root 2, right? Not this. So it doesn't follow the order. So at this moment, if I recalculate this one, it doesn't give us 8.14 anymore. It's just this one. So if you don't follow, and believe me, you're gonna have that case a lot. So if you're just going back and forth and calculate certain things, using this is very dangerous, right? So it's really recommend to assign certain letter or certain word to a calculation and just use that letter or name for further calculation. This exercise are homework problems, and I'm gonna announce it in class, but you're supposed to make these files and send it to me through email or in class. So what I want is, for example, like this. Use Maple to calculate this number 37 to 43. Yeah, you know it, right? So you have to do something here, right? So what I want here from you should look like this way, right? You don't need to show me the result. Maybe it's better not showing the result. So how can you delete it? Select that part and delete, or just after you finish all your answering, go to edit, remove output from worksheet, then you just remove everything like that, right? So that's a suggestion, but anyway, so this is what I want. Next thing, yeah, calculate square root 34 to 18 digits. What is gonna be that, right? So please do this part. Clearing variables, be careful whenever you assign certain number or equation to a word or letter, then Maple remembers as it is, right? So in the previously H never been assigned to anything, so Maple just accept H. But from now on, until you close this Maple file, Maple remembers H as 56. But to change that assigned number or equation, all you need is just reassign it. So H for square root of pi. Then from now on, Maple accept H as a square root of pi, like that. How about just to remove that assigned number or equation without reassigning to new number? For example, X is 64, then W will be 3972 because it understands X is 65, so it calculates 65 squared minus 4 times 65, something like that, right? But if you don't need this anymore, so you don't want to assign any new number whatsoever for X, then unassign X is going to be the command. Even it's a semicolon, still it doesn't show any results because it's unassigning a number from a variable. So in this case, W is simply just like this because Maple doesn't understand what value for X here, so it just accepts X itself. So let's say P is 4. Then we have this many variables. X is just X, is not assigned, but how can he remove everything altogether, right? Simply type restart semicolon and hit enter. Then all these assigned numbers will be removed from these letters. So from now on, after you hit enter here, when you hit enter that, it only understands as a letter, not the numbers.